It is 100.5 Wowfm, Dave's video graveyard for your Monday night. A massive pleasure to be with you, whatever you may be doing. It is a very sad weekend in the world because we said goodbye to one of the greatest members of the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. Of course, I'm talking about the late and great Sean Connery. So we'll be talking about that this evening. But before we get to... I'm guessing that would be the highlight of this evening. But before we get to that, we are joined. It is time once again for a guest choice special. And we are joined by Andy and Will from OK Champ. Guys, how you going?
Yeah, going great. And thanks for having us.
Yeah, cheers for having us, Dave.
Anytime. Viral videos, comedy, writing, cinema photography, that's not a word, editing. Is there anything you guys can do?
Yeah, I was about to say we haven't done any well yet.
Yeah.
We do all of that, yeah.
Nice. So for those who don't know, why don't you let me know, what is OK Champ?
So OK Champ is a collection of comedy sketches and comedy videos, usually satirical, bit of social commentary. We've got a YouTube channel that we run under it with a ton of videos, and a lot of it is just ridiculous, made-up original content. But there is some stuff that's... we've done some edits and a few other things you'll see on the channel. So,
and I do not mean this as a backhanded compliment whatsoever. I genuinely mean this from a nice place. The thing I love so much about what you guys do, and it's the same thing that I used to love about the Upright Citizens Brigade television show back in the day. You guys put in a lot of work off the smallest premise. Yeah. And that just adds this other level of comedy to me where it's like... You guys would have spent all day, like, particularly when you do not the time lapse, but where you almost like make a montage and animate, like stop frame animate yourselves as live action. The amount of work that would take when it's on just the worst pun or like the weakest joke. That is beautiful. The dedication to, other people go, oh, we've got to work with this a bit more.
Yeah. We're happy to just leave it and put it out. Yeah. Look, I can't. There's obviously a lot of work, but to be honest, Will is such a spearhead for like the creative content and the really hard work, in my opinion. So I'll get Will maybe to take over for that.
Yeah, well, we don't have the strongest jokes, so we rely on these other techniques.
Nothing wrong with a bit of style over substance.
Exactly. But yeah, it's always been, something, that's fascinated me. The stop motion, Wallace and Gromit.
Yep.
I also like the puppets from Thunderbirds. It looks a bit weird, but just using human beings for something they really shouldn't be is just great, and something our channel can really get behind. Yeah.
Now, how did you guys meet? Like, what's the catalyst of OK Champ?
So Will and I met at uni. We studied film together. You wouldn't know it. No, that's not true. We obviously, we get on and realized, why can I hear that? I shouldn't be able to hear that. Totally. So we met at uni. It's unrelated, but we're born a day apart in the same year. I think that's weird.
Yeah.
That is weird.
Yeah, it's weird. Both Gemini freaks with split personalities, so.
Yes.
No offense to anybody born as a Gemini.
Oh, you're throwing shade at 1/12 of my listenership.
I know. It's heavy. That'll hit you hard, Dave.
Well, that equates to one person,
Yeah, that's right.
So that's devastating for me.
Two here today.
Yeah.
We met at uni, and then we just started making stuff, and we realized pretty quick that we got very similar sense of humor, and we like working with each other, which is probably the biggest thing. Yep. And it's just super fun.
Yeah, it's just a great laugh. I like, I just really like seeing what Andy comes up with. You have a bit of a sketch, and then he always brings something to it that is unexpected and always better.
And that's a nice compliment. Thanks.
Lovely. Do you guys want to break to kiss, or we'll?
No, I've been giving him a Rigsty the whole time.
Oh, cool.
No,
nice.
Exactly. Yeah, so it's nearly there.
Yeah. So
wait your turn.
I've got to say, Will, you have one of the coolest speaking voices ever.
Oh.
I honestly, because we only obviously just met about 10 minutes ago,
Yeah.
I thought that it was a character voice for the most part.
No. It's I used to. I think it comes from I used to sing in a choir.
Right.
I was in the Australian Youth Choir. So the way you pronunciate all the words are very English,
Yep.
and also. All the things I used to watch, or most of it was, either English or American. So, I think it came from there. And we're South Australian.
Yeah,
We're not.
We're weird sounding as it is.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Although I'm a
Yeah.
bit of a bitzer, I've been everywhere.
That's
I've been
true.
everywhere, man. Yeah, so-
We are New South Welshmen. So.
yeah.
That's
I can't
true.
claim that
That's
too much.
true.
It's just you, mate. That's super
Yes.
weird.
Fair enough.
That was one of the first times that I met Will. I remember going home and chatting to someone. I was just like, I met this guy today. And originally it was like, he's got a funny voice, like that was like, sorry, but that, just a massive insult. No. But then I was like, he's genuinely like the funniest dude I've met, And the voice made it extra easy at the start, but then quickly you backed it, so it was fine.
Oh, thank
Yeah.
goodness.
Yeah.
It has such an Australiana quality to it. Like, honestly, it's like Barry McKenzie character level of just unique. And you don't get that anymore. We
Yeah.
all sound the same pretty much.
Yeah.
So well done.
Oh, thank you very much.
Thanks.
I like your pretty mouth words, is what I'm trying to say. Where's the name come from? Or is it one of those, it's subjective to all the viewers?
That's all of our sketches, Dave.
I think it was we had a list of names, and that was the one no one liked.
Yeah.
So we went with that.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is beautiful.
It's almost if you don't hate it, you probably like it, And it kind of did stick. The funny we've got what sketch was it that we did, and we had a chance to say "Okay, champ," but we said "Okay, mate" or something.
Yeah,
there was
yeah.
like some, and like
Yeah.
our audience, God bless them, just slayed us for it, and it was just like, no, we did it on purpose, totally. So yeah, we really care about the name now.
Where's the best place for everyone to check out what you guys have got going on?
Definitely on YouTube.
Yep.
Yeah, check it out on YouTube. That's where, that's where it's all happening.
Yeah, well, it's all uploaded
Yeah.
for, if all of your users, all of your listeners are cheapskates.
Listener.
Sorry, yeah, if your listeners are cheapskate, they can go to YouTube. But if they're really awesome and have $1, they can go to our Patreon and they can get that plus everything else.
That's true. There's extra videos,
Including our own
Yes.
podcasts.
Yes,
Ooh.
yes. There's a bit of a
competition.
behind the
I know.
scenes. Yes.
But yeah, everything's up on YouTube. So yeah, we want everybody to go through there. That would be awesome.
And I also, the thing that sticks to mind when I watch your videos, what are the neighbours thinking? Are you getting any feedback?
Yeah, we think that too.
We've had a few complaints. We were filming Lord and Peasant, and there was a fog machine that we were using, and it's steam based. And anyway, it's blowing all the steam everywhere, and this angry voice comes over the top and goes, "What are you burning?" No, sorry. Wait a minute. That was a different person. No,
Just revving up here.
First it was this guy. He came in. He goes, "Oh, what are you burning?" And we go, we're not actually burning anything. It's steam. It's a steam-based fluid from a fog machine." He's like, "Oh, I don't think you should be doing that." We go, "Oh no, it's just fog. It's not fire." Oh, okay. I said, "You can come and have a look if you like."
And this is Al from Home Improvement.
Yeah,
Like, we
yeah.
can't see who this is, and they're trying to like kind of convince us to stop, and we're just like, no, like it's not what you think.
Yeah.
And it was this like, no, come around. Like we need to break this down because we want to keep filming. We don't want you to call the cops,
Yeah,
or the
yeah.
fire brigade.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of like, it wasn't fire or smoke, but it was
No.
a lot of steam.
Yeah, it was just steam.
But yeah,
And-
God, they came in hot.
Yeah, he
did.
came, and then it's as if he spoke to his wife, and then another voice comes and goes, "You better stop that burning." Just kept going, and yeah, she threatened the police, and we offered everyone to come over, but fair enough, they didn't, and probably a good thing.
Yeah.
Probably a good thing.
It literally finished with like a kind of stern voice by me from memory, and it was just like we're doing this. If you want to come around now, this is your chance to come around and see what you're doing, but we're not going to stop. And then it was just quiet, And then we just kept going.
You missed one of the greatest chances to strip down and just be intently oiling each other, staring at the person coming and be like, see?
With the steam
See? See? Nothing weird whatsoever.
If we had one of those little plastic shell pools, you know those, that'd be perfect. Full that, yeah. One day.
I did, like, when we first moved into the home that we're in at the moment, the neighbour watched us coming off the, the moving truck, and his first words to me was, I like your costume. And I was like, he's in for a learning experience over the next few weeks. This is just what I wear on a Sunday to move house.
Yeah, it allegedly gives him supernatural powers.
Yeah, that's it. It's my shower curtain.
Yeah, not all heroes wear capes.
Now, I'm getting lost in not just your eyes, but also your voice right now. And I've totally realised what it is. You have the most perfect 1979 Australian policeman that's pulled you over voice. And we're talking about, the lawless, no seatbelts, kid in a basket in the back, that kind of era.
Yeah.
And lines like, is there something wrong with you, and things like that.
Well, look here, sir.
Yeah.
It looks like, from the way you've been driving, you've had 300 slabs, and the limit here is 299, so you're nicked.
Listen here, if you're going to drink that much, you need to wind that back window of your Sandman van down.
You should be on Casey. You should be on Casey's backtrack, mate, with driving like that.
This tape does not have any K-San on it whatsoever. Taking you down to the station.
Oh, hang on, is that Rodney Rude? Yeah, you'll be all right.
Oh, yeah. You got a King Billy Coke bottle tape on the dash. You're totally fine. Awesome. So, this evening we will be going through your favourite films of all time. Before we get to that, we have the DVG quiz stolen from High Fidelity. This is 100.5 Wowfm. This one's a request or a dedication. This one's going out to Will from Andy. This is Dave's Video Graveyard. It is Dave's Video Graveyard for your Monday night. In there, we heard a little bit of Misfits, but before that, the theme to Dr. No, sending that one out to the second best James Bond of all time. How did it affect you guys saying goodbye to Sean Connery?
Oh,
I think Will would have been probably even more affected than me. Will is a massive Bond fan of all kinds. So.
Oh, I love Sean Connery. Who's your first favourite?
Yeah, he's latched onto that straight away. He's like, fuck talking about me. I'm going to... Yeah.
Well, if there's not a Nintendo 64 game made about the Bond, I'm not really interested. So
That's a fair... Yeah, I get it.
My childhood Bond was Roger Moore. My favourite was Pierce Brosnan. Timothy Dalton's face scared me because he had shark eyes.
Yeah,
he still has shark eyes. And Sean Connery was just... That's your dad's Bond. It's not mine.
Yep.
Well, that's fair enough. My favourite is Roger Moore.
Yep.
He's absolutely... Well, he's not great, but I just love watching him and everything. And
I love if you were to subjectively compare all of them. It's like Daniel Craig did parkour and he did this and he snapped a neck and he shot a helicopter with a handgun and stuff. And it's like Roger Moore had a light plane that was turned into a horse. Yeah. And he dressed up as a clown that threw knives. Yeah. So whatever.
It doesn't get any better than that.
It's been done.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Sean Connery, but how many Duran Duran music videos were you in?
Exactly. Exactly.
We're throwing shade at the grave.
I am also a bit of a... Only because I think I'm the same as you. Like, GoldenEye as a game was not... I remember being in the cinema watching GoldenEye when it came out in Yamba or something like that.
Wow.
It was tiny. It was one of those makeshift cinemas.
So it's like an RSL with a projector and that kind of thing.
And I think it was even 3-6 months after it was in my cinema or when whatever. And I remember watching it and I remember the crowd and even my family later, because that's almost how I remember it, going kind of crazy and laughing out loud at at the start when he's kind of careening to catch the plane.
Oh, wow.
And he climbs in. And I just remember it being such an enjoyable experience. I think that's reverse trauma hit me in a great way.
Oh,
that's some A-grade nostalgia.
But I've seen a lot of good Roger Moore acting and just moments.
Are we talking Spice World?
Which is he in Spice?
He sure is.
Oh,
There's actually an anecdote about that in Spice World. I think it was Spice World.
This is you, so go for it.
And someone
Is this a sentence you got up this morning thinking you were going to be saying?
No.
Nice. That's what we're here for.
I was about to say, actually, don't worry about it. It goes for effing ages.
Just do it.
Okay.
I could listen to your voice for at least 3 minutes.
Oh, thank you.
We've only got clips for 30 seconds. So watch a few.
But apparently, there was a guy recording his voice for that film, and he goes, "Oh, do you remember me? When I was a kid, I saw you at the airport, and my dad said, let's go and say hello, and I went up to you and I said." Oh, hello, James Bond. How's it going? I don't think he said that. That's paraphrased. And he said, "Oh, I'm not James Bond. I don't know what you're talking about." And then he walked off, and the kid was, a bit disappointed. And then it was later on that day, and Roger Moore came up to him and he goes, "Look here, son, I am actually James Bond. It's just Blofeld is doing some stuff around here, and I had to keep it under wraps, okay? I had to keep it a secret." And it made his day, made the kid's day. And anyway, he told Roger Moore this as now a man. And he says, "Oh, I don't remember that at all." And anyway, he's like, oh, fair enough, probably made a lot of people. Anyway, he's out in the car park later on, and Roger Moore sort of runs up to him and he goes, "Actually, I do remember that. It's just Blofeld is working here now, and I had to keep it under wraps." And yeah, that's it.
That's great.
Very
it
nice.
just seems like he just comes across as exactly the same wherever he is.
Yeah.
You should watch him in The Persuaders as
Right.
well. It's what he did just before Bond, and
This is a
shocking.
TV series.
Yeah, it's a TV
Yeah.
series.
It's on every day at Will's.
It is. It is. I use it for all purposes. Mainly to clear the house.
Yeah, okay, right.
Anyway,
In between episodes of really bad tracking episodes of Hey Dad, it's quite bizarre.
Yeah. It's on an old VHS tape with
it
something
is.
bad.
But it's also slowed down. It's just bizarre. You've dubbed it VCR to VCR, but with freeze frame. It's very bizarre. We've all been there.
But yeah, check it out. The Persuaders. It was the highest budgeted show.
You don't
of
need to
its
sell it.
time.
It's been around for fucking 60 years.
It's bloody
So-
great.
That is the part of the show that we dedicate to Sean Connery is a 15-minute talk on Roger Moore.
That's
He
That-
would have appreciated.
He would have. That's
Yeah.
how we do things here at DVG. Now, you guys were sent the high fidelity quiz here on DVG. The reason it's called the high fidelity quiz, I've got to give credit. I stole it from another Wowfm show called High Fidelity.
Oh,
So
excellent.
shout out to Shannon for the work.
Excellent.
On your shazza.
Rightio, what was your local video store growing up, Andy?
Oh, God. My local video store was a Civic Video. This is in New South Wales. I grew up in a place called Nelson Bay. And it was... there's always a blue or a red video shop, generally.
Yep.
Mine was a blue one. The classic video store was Civic Video. That used to, just be magical, obviously, I think, for anybody of our generation, and heading down there and trying to push mum to get all 6 for $6.60 or whatever it was.
Now, my childhood one had a kids' castle, as in a big Gyprock castle for the kids' movies.
Oh, wow.
A Evil Dead cabin that, after years and years, was repainted as a porno cabin. And it was just including in 1989, they made a mannequin / duct tape Michael Keaton Batman, and it stayed there for about 4 years, along with the standee from Gremlins New Batch.
Oh.
It was an automated standee where Gizmo comes out of the drawer.
That's great.
And that was there until, I reckon, like, the first Bad Boys film came out.
Yeah.
So, do you have any memories like that for your childhood?
Yeah, not as deep as that day. Unfortunately,
I've let go. I've grown up.
Yeah. I do remember though. I do remember the kind of the areas that I would have more eyes on me if I was near.
Yeah.
Like the horror section or the naughty adult skin movie section. But yeah, growing up, I've got an older sister. She's 5 years older than me, so she was probably she was a big influence on like watching movies that I didn't rent and things as well. So she would always.
I probably next time you told this story wouldn't segue the porno hut to the part about your sister. Just workshopping the story.
Sorry about that.
Because my brain linked.
I want to
it
back
like,
off this now. Yeah. Will, what about you?
What was your childhood?
Well, there were several. There was, everyone had Blockbuster at some point. Alpha Video.
I didn't. I just told you I didn't. I didn't.
Fair enough. Alpha Video. I used to go to one in town that was, I think it's still there. Alpha Video. No, not Alpha Video. Galactic Video. Yeah,
Yep.
It was just all sci-fi. You've been there too?
Yeah, I was there about 2 weekends ago.
Oh, nice.
They don't have hardly any VHS, but they've got so many empty VHS cases. And
Oh, wow.
I'm in the market
Yeah.
occasionally.
Oh, superb. Yeah, no, that was great. I used to get a lot of, like Doctor Who, Blake
Well,
Seven.
it's still one of the only places I know that openly celebrates Red Dwarf
Oh,
to the
wow.
degree that they
Yeah.
do.
Is it who's running it now?
I reckon it's the guy that's always had it. By the
Oh,
impression
wow.
I was given, the guy there was like the furniture, like he'd been there forever, ever.
Oh, that guy's great. And I better mention this one because we sort of got a bit involved with this other one as well. I think it was called Network Video. And
That's superseded Video Easy.
I think so. Yeah, and my brother, we're kids. My brother was asked if he wanted to be in the ad for it.
Oh,
Yes, and
do tell.
yeah. So he
said no.
We said we said shove it. Not for that amount. No, but he's all right. I'll be in the ad, and Mum's like, oh, that's great, and I was jealous. That would have been better if they picked me, but no. Anyway,
Hey, videos would still be the format if you were in it. Hey,
that's true. That's true.
they paid the price.
They stuffed it up. But yeah, so they go, oh, just come and have a look at this poster, and he's looking at this poster, and from memory, it was very inappropriate for a kid to be looking at. It was either it was a really violent film, or it was a woman who wasn't dressed very much.
Yeah,
So it was great.
Yeah.
There you
So
go.
have you heard of Species? Have a look at this. What do you think of the naked lady?
People versus Larry Flint.
Yeah, that's right.
Flint.
That is a classic vision of being a kid and looking at a cover, isn't it? That is the legs, or with him. That's
Yes.
yeah. I've got the same.
It's the crutch with him crucified on the crutch as the girl's underwear.
That's it.
I had that poster as a kid and it just disappeared.
Sure, it did, Dave.
Just disappeared.
Just
and I'm like,
randomly was crinkled in the trash one day.
No.
Stuck together.
I remember vividly. No. I said to Dad, do you know where the poster went that was in my room? He's like, no. And he's like, there it is over there. And I go and unroll. This is Hoop Dreams. Why do we have this?
This is White Man Can't Jump.
why
I can
is
see
this in
Woody.
there?
I don't need to get the rest open.
Yeah. I'll just remember. So I took the White Man Can't Jump Woody and then just penciled the rest of it from memory.
I remember it.
It was glazed like a donut. Right. Who goes on your Mount Rushmore of actors or actresses?
So this is, I don't know. This is hard. I in my head, I'm phrasing this also like my dinner table, like who would be on my dinner table, because I'm worried about putting people on mountains. And I would say there's something about Tom Hanks. I almost feel like I'd be happy to just be involved with his whole life. I really like him.
A very controversial answer there.
Is it?
No.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. What? Why? What do I not know?
So tell us more about why vanilla is your favourite ice
Yeah.
cream flavour.
It's always around. No, I don't know. I really like Tom Hanks. I think Jim Carrey would be up there just for how many films, especially as a kid, I watched. And even like now, and how kind of smart, kooky he seems to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like him. God, I don't even know. Hey, I had plans, but I can't even think about
Just
them.
go home.
Yeah, I know. Should I just go now?
Just leave.
Sorry about this, Dave.
Will?
Well, I reckon for my Mount Rushmore it would be Telly Savalas 4 times. But one of
Would
them,
they be facing each other
Yeah.
or all forwards?
all
Just
forwards.
one head from different
Yeah.
perspectives.
And it'd have one of them would be him when he's the cat from
Yeah.
Alice in Wonderland, and underneath I want them to engrave "Meow Baby."
That's a weird meta in joke, but I love it. I appreciate it.
Nice.
And it'd be easier to do. He's bald.
Yep.
So, just get 4 boulders and,
Yep.
you're halfway there.
So you're thinking about the cost and the
yeah.
work involved as well.
Yeah, do we do it?
You're like, we stuffed this one up. You're going to have a Yul Brynner because his head's a bit squished.
I'll have Schwarzenegger when his eyes are about to pop out. That'll make do for my artistic interpretation.
Can you imagine driving through the countryside? You go over a small hill, over the crest, and there's just 4 Willem Dafoes carved into a giant stone mountain.
Just as long as they're not from what was it, Antichrist? As long as they're not that.
Well, the guy that
Give me one goblin. Give me one goblin.
The guy that carved Telly Savalas could do the Antichrist part.
That's-
He could just do the 2 balls. Would you prefer to watch a movie at home or at the cinema? Pretend I asked this in 2019.
Yes. Well, I think it depends on my mood and the film. But I generally really like the cinema. There's something about it that is just unique for an experience. Like, there's been a few films that I've seen in cinema that I feel wouldn't have had the same impact at home.
Yeah.
One of the weirdest ones was I went to a seniors morning tea at age 24, and
Which Clint Eastwood movie did you
which
watch?
no,
It was Clear and Present Danger.
I watched Citizen Kane, and it
Wow.
was just before Marion got rid of the film projector.
Yep.
In one of the big screens, and I was in the inside for that, so I was like, I want to go check this out. And it was there was something just awesome about the fact it was on film and the sound was popping in and out and stuff. And also that no one was around me. I'm as social as I probably seem to be sometimes. I also like to not have people talking. I had a really horrible time when I was super pumped for, God, what was it called? Paranormal Activity 2.
Right. Yep.
Super pumped for that. Went into that on a student saver thing.
Nice.
And it was I was just ropeable. The amount of people talking and laughing through it. I was I should not. But it's such a good example of when it wasn't good.
You've totally triggered me because the story that I try not to tell every week, but I do. I went to see the second Transformers movie. I was indifferent about it. It was a big action movie.
Yep.
I didn't care.
Yep.
But my experience was ruined by the man that decided that it was okay to live in a society and to eat a hot Coles chicken in the cinemas with his hands. And I don't care what
Ugh.
Fergie's husband's doing on the screen, licking robots or whatever that movie's about.
Yep.
It's not more interesting than a man using his hands to eat a rotisserie chicken out of a Coles bag. Because rotisserie chicken has that thing where you smell it and you're like, am I smelling really nice smelling chicken or a nappy?
Yeah. Yeah. And that guy could be eaten either.
I know. So
Yeah.
I that's where the franchise fell off for me. It was the Coles chicken.
Yeah, they didn't factor that into the budget, did they?
No.
They gave it a lot, but not enough.
Will, home or the cinema?
Yeah, I mean, I love, at the cinema, I've really been blown away by films. But, sort of echoing what you've been saying, it does just take one moron that's close by to just sort of go, that's pretty good. That's
like
what
that
she
kind.
said.
Yeah.
To just these rubbish jokes. It just ruins it.
And because we're all movie nerds, that's why we're here. But you know that one guy that wants everyone to know which of the trailer movies he's going to see?
Yeah.
No one's here for that, bud.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that.
It's like, and we're all looking forward to it, I'm sure, Christmas, and it's like that auntie you don't see a lot and just keeps finishing your sentences.
Yeah.
There's always someone in there that's like, oh yeah. I knew that was going to happen.
Yeah.
Or this constant confirmation. It's like, my God, I don't hope you crash on the way home, but I hope you left your keys, in your seat.
I hope you wake up 2 minutes before your alarm tomorrow. That kind of visceral way. Food of choice at the cinemas.
I think mine's... I'm not a big popcorn eater. And I know that's I'm just trying to push against this
The
vanilla.
question was food of choice. I didn't say do you eat popcorn, did I?
God, I'm not doing too well with this. I would say food of choice is just a soft drink, because that's the one thing that it can see me through the movie. I'm a bit of a cheapskate. I won't kind of feel bad.
What's the second word in soft drink?
Is that not okay?
I don't know if I'm going to let that go.
Probably a rotisserie chicken.
The show's over, guys. Thanks for coming. Yes, and what is your food of choice?
Well, yeah, I
has
just
to be a food. Has to be a solid.
oh damn! I was going to say oxygen.
Yeah.
I just prefer not to eat at the cinema.
It's true, actually.
I hate it. I hate
Will
it.
actually does do that. So
Yeah,
you're going to have trouble here, Dave, with us.
Yeah, really sorry.
A drink and nothing. Let's see you stringing this on for 30 more seconds.
Sometimes I do a
You're
nothing
sitting
and a
across the
nothing.
table from a man with the meat sweats. Give me something. Tell me some food things so I can...
You're like, oh, I've got that 100 grams of pepperoni left in the fridge.
I got to get my pulse back up. So mention food, guys. Come on.
Probably the $6 a kilo chicken loaf from Coles. If I can get 250 grams of that, that'll see me through 2.5 hours.
I liked the discount bin. Anything from there?
Yeah, well,
that'd be great.
To be fair though, because obviously
So a 2-pack of Martin short DVDs.
Yeah,
Delicious.
God,
it was great.
Andy, who would play you in a biopic? Matthew Lillard.
you reckon?
Yeah. Young Matthew Lillard, though.
Wait,
So that's a compliment.
who is that again?
Stu from Scream. Or
Okay.
Shaggy from Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, sorry. Okay, I'm with you now. Yeah, I've been told that with Shaggy. Okay. I was bullied when I was younger and told I was like Beaker from the Muppets. So if I can
that's a
grab,
bit brutal.
I know, but I kind of like
But own it.
Beaker. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I would take that because I think that would be funny to just put a puppet in real life and then be me. Yeah, be good.
Well,
That'd be great. Well, a lot of people when I was younger, they said I looked like Macaulay Culkin.
right.
So I'm going to have to go with.
But was it weird that when you were younger, they're like, you look like adult Macaulay Culkin?
Yeah, it was. It was great. But I growing up, your preferences change, don't they? And I reckon I'd go with Snoop Dogg.
No, I'd watch it.
Yeah,
and we're
the
living in
same.
the world where we've got a diversified roles in casting. So
Yeah,
let's do it.
He's cool.
I get.
What about a de-aged There Will Be Blood Daniel Day-Lewis?
Oh yeah, why not?
That's a de-aged. Yeah.
But the best thing about it would be he'd live your life because of his method acting. So
Oh wow, poor man.
That's a lot of pressure. Yeah.
I look, just the de-aging process is enough for me.
Nice.
That'd be great.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Just seeing Daniel Day-Lewis get de-aged.
Well, yeah.
Stuff the movie.
I was about to say,
Stuff
mate,
the boring movie.
The technology, William, you would not believe these days, mate.
I drink your milkshake. If you could pick one and only watch one for the rest of your life, would you be watching comedy, horror, or drama?
What would I be watching?
Pornography.
You took the words from my mouth.
I'll be watching the roughest horror film you could find.
Zane's World.
No, yeah, I would pick horror. I'm a massive horror fan. Although I think halfway through I'd regret it and wish I picked drama because it's just such a well-rounded genre that is so... it's not even a genre, it's everything.
You pick horror and then you don't get to watch Casino.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you got to weigh those things up.
Yeah, I'd have to go with drama because it's got a bit of everything in it. How's that?
There's a little bit of funny in there, isn't there?
It's another vanilla answer, isn't it, to add to the show?
Yeah, well, really,
You were given 3 answers, so
Oh,
that's...
fair enough.
I'm glad you like this, Dave. Thank you for having us, Dave.
We're really trying.
Which film that didn't get one deserves a sequel? Andy.
I thought long and hard about this, and I know people have tried to build the world many times, but it's never been the same as the film, and it's Hook.
Wow.
I really wanted to see more of that, those people, and Hook. Hook for me was just like so cool and fun, and I still going home tonight to watch it.
Nice.
So Hook.
No, that's brilliant. I'd have to go with Master and Commander
Nice.
because it's an outstanding film, but it was up against the finale of Lord of the Rings, Return of the King.
Are we now talking about Academy Awards?
Oh, no, I'm just saying it.
Sorry,
you know,
you're trying to make this about you.
It just sort of went a bit under the radar.
Actually, I
and
do apologise because you mentioned a Peter Weir film, so...
Peter.
He is every movie maker's favourite director. And
Yeah.
I'm always like, it's rather vanilla, except for Witness when handsome Harrison Ford's dancing to Sam Cooke.
Oh, Witness is cool. Yeah, I forgot about that.
No, that's great, isn't it? Yeah.
That's a great film, but yeah, I mean, it's your story, Will, sure.
No, we want more.
In your biopic, what is the main title song?
Oh gosh, this is one a left curve. You know that song that's like "Wake Me Up, oh, with your left,
Yep.
oh," that song.
Nice.
Yeah, I just danced a lot when I was a kid, and
Any songs they used to play on the cha-cha at the Silver City show is the music I still listen to.
so Scooter, are you ready?
Yeah. Bit of Crystal Waters, 100% pure love.
Just getting crushed by someone, just saying, "I want to like hug you, but this is too much."
La 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 la,
Yeah.
long lila.
Yeah.
And what is the main song for your biopic?
I think it would have to be Simply the Best.
Wow. Just wouldn't be like.
No.
Fair enough.
Well, you know, if Snoop Dogg's playing me in it, Simply the Best.
Yeah, it's true.
It'd be great.
Yeah, he could strut.
But
Daniel Day-Lewis.
it's not like the time when Tina Turner did it with Jimmy Barnes. It's actually the Tin Lids instead. It is Mahalia Barnes and that all de-aged to be the Tin Lids singing it
oh
live.
my god.
That is great.
TV show or movie from your childhood that you guys would reboot?
I would love to see the Ferals
Lovely.
done more. I think you could almost do the Ferals like the In-Betweeners or something.
Get Dave Dobbin back for the theme. Like he'll do
Oh.
it. It's
Woo.
iconic.
How good was it? Was the neighbour the main like human called Jamie, or what was
There
his-
was two. There was the dude from GP, the TV show, and there was
GP?
there was Mig Ayesa that went on to try and be in Excess or one of those reality shows.
Was he the one with the kind of real classic
yes,
boy band
with
spread
the
head?
with the Edward Furlong.
Yes, great call. Furlong, yes. Yeah, I'll go with Ferals.
If you and what would you reboot?
Oh, I'd go for Round the Twist.
Lovely,
Just-
both in the same wheelhouse.
Yeah, just a bit. Give it a bit more money.
Yep.
And do it in America.
If you could add your favourite fictional character to any other film, who would it be and what would the movie be?
Oh my gosh. Favorite fictional character. I don't know if you've seen Bad Taste by Peter
I have
Jackson.
seen Bad Taste.
Peter Jackson plays a character in that called Derek that is absolutely mental. There's a scene where he kind of chainsaws himself into the body of an alien and he's like yelling the whole time. That character I think would just ruin anything. So I would love to see him in more.
Lovely.
Check that out. Derek. Yeah.
Will.
I mean, yeah, I really like Basil Fawlty.
Nice. Yeah.
And, you know, sort of David Brent as well. I know I'm getting two in at once, but I'd really like to see them in more stuff. Like, I mean, we did the sketch with, Basil Fawlty in Star Wars.
Mm.
You know, just something like that. I'd
Beautiful.
just love to see it.
Fawlty would be good. It would probably be just the same, wouldn't it? But just replacing Rowan Atkinson in The Witches.
Oh,
Like, it's basically the same role. Like,
Because wasn't
or you
Eric
can
Idle...
just swap them.
Eric Idle was uncredited as one of
fine.
the witches in the
Oh, is that-
boardroom scene.
Oh,
Really?
Yeah. There's stills of it. It's insane.
That sounds amazing, yeah. Love The Witches.
If you could drive any vehicle from any movie, what would it be? And why would it be the
Gosh.
89 Batmobile?
Yeah, that's a good one, eh? Like, well, yeah, 89 would be good, but I really like In Returns. This isn't even mine, but I just want to back up what you said. When in Returns, where he pushes the button and it like flips itself around and then
Yep.
blows fire on the smoke on the jugglers.
Yep.
That's sick, and I'd pick that one over the 89. No offense, but my real pick is also another Batman vehicle.
September?
It'd be the Batcopter from the 60s one.
Oh, wow.
Because you know that scene where the sharks
Equipped
got
with
him?
shark
Yeah,
repellent,
yeah. It's got everything.
right.
And Will?
I'd have to go with the TARDIS from Doctor Who.
This is when you put the button.
Yeah.
Again.
Just brilliant. You can go everywhere, and it's got a really nice interior.
Yeah.
Not cramped.
And everyone else knows about it and wants to go in.
Exactly.
Whereas I'm flying above.
It's
probably invisible.
It's manoeuvrable. It's not like the Death Star.
Repelling women.
Yeah.
You'll be calling out. You'll be saying sorry to Andy when you get bitten by a shark.
Yeah, that's right.
No, fair enough.
You'll be the first one trying to rip my belt off, mate.
Actor or actress, no judgment, that if you had a VHS tape of just their work, you would wear out for reasons.
Yes. Now, this is something we both had to double check what you meant. We were like, I think he means this.
Have you met me?
Yeah, I have, and I had to explain that. I just said, look, probably just a couple of scenes from Starship Troopers.
Yeah, I
Denise
think I know
Richards,
them. Yes,
if that's her, and also the other bird that's
Dizzy.
Yeah, she's really cool, and there's a few scenes in there that were that were quite cool when I was young.
See, we are totally fine because you word it like that. And Will.
Oh, I'm going to have to go with a VHS of Scully from X-Files. Oh.
Nice. Very nice. I don't think anyone on Earth would argue with that.
Yeah, I was about to say Scully's...
And it would be on VHS, so it's perfect.
Yeah. How good? Oh, you would be like this, I'm sure. It's like, I've got this collection, and it's like, the VHS. It's like when you see, like, I've seen your brother's Star Trek collection. It's like the size of the room. It's like that's season 1 and 3. You know, it's like
the op shop out Northway has like all of Next Generation.
Oh, wow.
And
all
it's
of them.
Nearly a whole shelf. And it's like
They're bricks.
No, that's
It's
like
just-
season 2. It's just like a full shelf of them. It's like no and thank you. Anyway, it is time we start talking about some movies, guys. That is the quiz. Thank you. I think everyone gets a little bit of an idea how bad you people really are. So we're going to get into a little bit of information, then we'll come back after the next song. This is DVG. It is Dave's Video Graveyard. Yeah, we get the point.
wow, 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 wow. Sorry,
What an amazing, iconic cowboy movie. We are talking about The Good, the Bad, the Ugly from 1966. Both you guys have picked this film this evening. So who would like to speak first about this classic from the Dollars trilogy?
Yeah, I mean,
I'm pointing at you.
I love the film, but I pick it also including the other 2 films that come with it. So A Fistful of Dollars and A Few Dollars More. I don't know. It's for me. It's I always like history as well. So it's not just the brilliant dialogue, the amazing action.
Yeah.
It's the historic context as well, and how they managed to give an idea of the conflict with this other story.
Go on.
Yeah.
And,
That was fair. That was fair.
Fair enough. Bit boring.
Shall I take over?
No.
All right, go get your mum.
Sergio Leone, he got onto a good thing in the 60s where he realized if you go to Spain where it costs nothing to film, you've got instant production values because that's what the landscape looked like at the time. You've got the likes of Warner Brothers, MGM, all working on these stage productions of cowboy movies. And you watch them now, like anything with the Duke in it, you watch it now and it's like, is that the set from Bonanza?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I just saw like someone from the Addams Family set clicking in the background.
Yeah, exactly. It's floorboards creaking outside and all sorts.
These are considered the be-all, end-all of cowboy movies, particularly what's called racistly now the spaghetti western. These they were made for nothing. They went on to make so much money. This film is just as iconic as its soundtrack is. Well, pretty much the Dollars trilogy is like, because just the way they work together, it was so amazing to have the score that it has, how good it looks on film, and nothing's more iconic to me than the graveyard shootout scene at the end of The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
Yeah. There's a really good video on YouTube. It's not ours. There's a really good video that breaks down the editing and the cinematography and the pace and the direction of that scene. That's awesome. So if anyone's interested in that, go check that out.
Also, sorry. Yeah, go for it.
No, yeah, I was going to finish, Will, but I agree though. The film is just like, It really is. Like, I was really close to probably putting something like Godfather there. I know I'm throwing more films in, but it's just everything about the film, this is the nerd thing, is just like solidly put together where the things match each other. Like you mentioned with the music, so much of the music evokes like the landscape, or it evokes the weird characters. Like you got all those little harp noises, and you've got twangs of guitars that don't continue. You know, just like weird little... I don't know, we're big fans of like little quirky characters that just, you know, the little coffin characters that are just like, get one ready for you, mate. You know, just like those little comments, the little Star Wars character comments.
It's almost like this is the grab bag of what became tropes of cowboy movies.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
if you weren't going to tick any of these boxes, don't bother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like Ennio Morricone's soundtrack is insanely amazing. I always love telling people that he originally did the score for The Thing, John Carpenter's The Thing.
Yeah.
But John Carpenter didn't think it suited, so he redid a lot of it with his synth.
Okay.
Tarantino then bought that unused score, and it's actually the score of The Hateful Eight.
Is that where that
And
came
that is
from?
so perfect.
I didn't
because
know that.
if you think about it, The Hateful Eight is just The Thing with cowboys and no
Yeah.
aliens, because
Yeah.
it's just that sense of dread
Yeah.
and who's portraying who. You guys have a connection with the soundtrack to this?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
We both were lucky enough to see big old Enyo performing with the Adelaide Symphony Orchestra probably 7 years ago,
Yeah.
maybe even longer.
And it happened to be on at the same time as the Clipsal 500. So
What you're saying is it was a high cultured, high class weekend?
half. But yeah, we're listening to one of the best musicians of our time, and doing the practice runs with the track
His cowboy Hans Zimmer.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. This. I expected him to be wheeled out like Hannibal Lecter, and be unleashed, but he walked out
He's
from
just
memory.
a head in a jar.
He would have ancient. Like if you've seen any images of him, not now, but from even a few years ago, ancient looking. He came out and just conducted like crazy. And to be fair, my scale is I don't know because I don't watch that. No offense to all that amazing music, but I went there to see him, and like Will said, 3/4 of the whole concert was like banging of like bottles and like this little dish pig from like round the corner tipping cans into a bin as he was like trying to close to get down to Reds early or something.
Oi, I know you, Neo.
Why
Why don't you play some Untouchable?
Yeah, exactly. When are the hoods coming on?
Yeah, outstanding film.
But yeah,
That was the encore, Ecstasy of Gold.
that
I think.
was, yeah.
But,
He's also got the music in Untouchables is really good. Really good. There's a few themes. There was heaps like what is it? Once Upon a Time in America. That's also he performed a bunch of them. There's tons. There's stuff like I can't even.
He's done an amazing amount of work.
Yeah, it's intimidating to really get into, but it's great study music as well.
Oh,
so.
absolutely. That you can see, plenty of those real, the real deep spaghetti westerns that no one's ever heard of.
Fistful of Dynamite.
Do you guys go the extended universe, for lack of a better term? A lot of the other cowboy movies with Clint Eastwood, like High Plains Drifter, all those real, not obscure, but lesser known films.
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
But not even necessarily just for Eastwood. It's more the genre.
Yeah.
We've found one particular actor that's very good called Franco Nero.
Ah, yes.
And Franco Nero stars in great films. One of them, what's the one where he jumps from the helicopter on top of the shark?
Oh, The Shark Hunter.
It is Shark Hunter. So that was a good setup. We came across that. We watched Django, the original Django. There's another good one called Fistful of Dynamite or Duck You Sucker. And again, like heaps of them have got Enyo's music or Morricone's music, and it's just they can be so bad, and the music just carries it. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And the landscape, like you said, it just the lenses and the filth of the people.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's real. They are actually filthy.
And see, everyone goes through, because obviously it's such a big film, but it really harkens back to like the joke in Back to the Future 3 when
Yeah.
Marty McFly rocks up in his really nice press
Yeah.
clean clothes. And then even you watch something like this and then you go into the 1990s and you've got the likes of Maverick or even to a lesser extent like Dr. Quinn Medicine Woman. And it's like, who is constantly dry cleaning all your stuff?
Yeah, totally. But I do like that Eastwood in it is still kind of the cleanest cut, which
Yeah.
I think's funny. Like, there's still that element that's like, hey, I'm the protagonist or I'm the antagonist or whatever. Like, because the people that do like bad things and bad things in westerns are like actually horrible things, you know,
Yeah.
like basically just brutally beating women for no reason,
Well,
or like they're things that make you hate them really quick.
High Plains Drifter. Clint Eastwood is essentially the hero of the film. And he forcefully has sex with a lady that doesn't want to.
There we go.
But he's still the hero of the film for the rest of it. And it's like,
Yeah.
hang on, can we just go back for
Yeah.
a bit? There's
Yeah.
just, I
Yeah.
need to check you're working out.
Yeah. It's like, well, you can pick option A or option B. It's
Yeah.
like, yeah. Well, the one that did it less, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's so much in those films, but I mean, other new films as well. Like Bone Tomahawk was a really good western.
Loved it.
That I thought was pretty sweet, and that was kind of cool to see as well. Like a bit of an indie type vibe for quite a lot of big
It would tick
stars.
so many boxes for you because you're a massive horror fan.
Yeah.
I just went and watched it with my K-Russ boner because I'm like, Kurt Russell's a cowboy in this. I have to watch it.
Yeah, that's great. And I grew up as well pretty obsessed with Quick and the Dead
Yep.
and Sam Raimi. And all the actors that are in that.
I had a moment in Burra, outback, South Australia.
Oh, yeah.
Driving back from Broken Hill, and I was crossing the street, and this dude was walking towards me. He had the nicest Sydney uni rowing team T-shirt on,
Yeah.
and it didn't fit because, as you may know, everyone in Burra dresses like they're from a country practice. So I'm crossing the road, and this guy's coming towards me. I'm like, that shirt's just too nice for this town.
Yeah, the
Like,
toilet's over
I'm
there,
talking-
mate.
I'm talking like the soft bag it was in was ripped 20 minutes earlier for that shirt to be so crisp. And then the guy was staring at me, so I'm staring back at him going, what's this guy's problem? Why is he staring at me? Because I'm staring at him.
Yeah.
He gets just around the corner from where I'm standing eating a pie because I'm a sophisticated gentleman. And I'm like, that was Russel Crowe. So I
Wow.
just freaked out.
Wow.
I turned to my kids and I'm like, that was Russel Crowe, to which every one of my kids is like, who's Russel Crowe?
Yeah.
My brain started going like, and I'm going to say, oh,
You're
from The
just
Quick
like-
and the Dead. Oh, from Virtuosity. It's Superman's dad. And my oldest son's like, oh, it is too.
That's
We
what
go
a
around the corner and he was completely disappeared because he was filming, I don't know.
Water Diviner?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
filming that in Burra.
watching man eat pie.
He didn't cast me for his sequel,
Yeah.
Pie Man.
You were an extra, mate.
But in saying that, since Water Divider, I'm pretty sure I did inspire one or two pies for old Rusty because he's looking well pied.
Yeah, beautiful. You left plenty.
That's it.
Shout out to Burra.
Yeah. All right, let's get back into it and let's go with this. This is DVG. The year is 2007 and the entire internet are collectively discussing how bad Heath Ledger is going to do as the Joker. Fast forward 18 months and things aren't very good for Heath, but he did nail the Joker. We are talking about 2008's The Dark Knight. Which one of you guys to pick this one?
Will.
I think that was me.
You guys know how to deliver a bit of pizzazz.
That was, man, it is so repetitive. If you go to the channel, you'll find out soon.
Lovely.
Yeah, just love it. Just love it. It's it's one of my favourites. I think I saw it at the cinema about 10 times.
I think
Wow.
did you actually?
Yeah.
Wow.
Saw it at the IMAX as well. Unbelievable.
Oh, you
And
did too. You went down to Melb's for that. I
Yeah.
remember that.
It was-
I wanted to go to that. I was too poor.
It was at I think it was at the 9th screening, and I said, I've seen it too many times. And then it came back on, and I went again.
Yeah.
Just couldn't help myself.
So
Yeah.
would you like to talk about what you like about it, Will?
I think it's really the efficiency of the script. I mean, I like the story, but I can just watch it over and over again. You just pick up bits. I don't think there's a wasted moment in the whole film.
I think you'll find that about all of Nolan's films to a degree.
Yeah. Oh, maybe not Tenet.
Well, we should move into that later because we'd like to talk about that.
I could do the rest of this interview in in reverse.
Don't you like? Don't you like Christopher Nolan's take on Tom Green's The Backwoods Man?
You should have done Daddy. Did you want some sausage?
I thought he was ripping off Red Dwarf.
True.
With Backwards.
Yeah, or even the log cabin dude from Twin Peaks.
Yeah, no. Look. I'll give it another go. I'll give Tenet another go. But
You should watch it backwards.
yeah, that's a great idea.
You idiot.
Yeah, The Dark Knight.
And by watching it
fantastic.
backwards, he means face the back away from the screen. Then you get to enjoy Hans Zimmer's Boaz,
That's
which
true.
ties right back to 2008's The Dark Knight.
The Dark Knight. Yes, it was. Did Hans Zimmer do Tenet?
Yes.
I think, yeah.
Did
yeah,
it?
If not,
yeah.
someone covered him.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Actually, yeah, I'm not sure. I reckon...
Was it?
You're right. I don't know.
It was very similar.
This, I was about to say, we'll get a research.
We'll
on
have a
this.
look. Yeah, sorry.
We'd like to strike
Sorry.
a point of research
But
to back
yeah.
us up here.
Dark Knight. Yeah, fantastic. I was just blown away every time.
So were a lot of
Whoops.
people in the film.
I spelled Tenet backwards, guys.
Hey, dyslexics fun.
It's, yeah, just superb. Good mix of practical effects as well. Just not too CGI driven.
Yeah.
And yeah, brilliant story.
To find out, because obviously we spent a lot of the late 90s enjoying what action had to offer. This I always refer
Blade.
to as Christopher Nolan's Heat, because it's just Heat with Batman stapled throughout it.
It is.
But when I found out that that's a real semi-trailer that flips, that was done practically, it wasn't a miniature or anything.
Yeah.
It's like, stop wasting money. But at the same time, I really appreciate it. And it's so funny. You look at the budget of Christopher Nolan films, and you're always like, how do they afford that? But then you got to take into account every building in every scene, even in the background, they've clearly paid to have painted a certain shade of grey and stuff like that.
Well, yeah, even for the Batman Begins, when they were filming, the one of the bits of CGI, which was the train going down. I heard somewhere that they told all the neighbourhoods where they were filming through the buildings to keep their lights on, turn the lights on and everything, so the CGI would look better later. So he's pretty bloody good with his practical effects, and also he keeps under budget, so they let him do whatever he
and
wants.
he delivers on time as well.
Yes, he's notorious.
Even the opening of Dark Knight Rises, when they wanted to do the plane stunt, it was actually illegal in pretty much every country in the world except one to film that because of aviation laws. So they took the entire production to that country just for a week, just to shoot that opening plane sequence with Bane and his really good dialogue.
And they decided to not take his voice. So
I'm
that's
just
interesting.
remembering I'm just remembering not looking it up on the internet. The music from Tenet, it actually done by longtime collaborator of Donald Glover, Childish Gambino. It was actually Ludwig Göransson.
That's it.
He did the music for Black Panther, is where he came onto the scene.
Oh, nice.
But he also is doing the music at the moment for The Mandalorian, and I don't know if you
beautiful.
guys are following it, but the most recent episode features flamenco guitar dubstep. And
really?
I was like, wow.
That's the spoiler I've been trying to avoid, mate.
Sorry,
I haven't
man.
watched it yet, but I've loved it. The Mando.
Absolutely superb.
Just to bring it back to Dark Knight, I love that film too. I love to talk about it.
It's not about you.
Yeah, I know, but can it be?
All right.
I really like the actors. No, yeah, genuinely, I think the performances in all of it are good. I'm really surprised that Christian Bale wasn't just annoying a lot.
Because
it was somehow
he didn't hit his John Connor level self-seriousness. The other thing that I've always hated, I cannot stand the face of Aaron Eckhart. To me, he's the poor man.
That's a shame for him.
He's the poor man's Tom Jane. And my biggest issue with him is he went on Conan after this came out, and they're like, "Oh, you're going to go to the open? Oh, did you go to the opening?" He's like, "No, I don't watch my own films." And the rage that filled me with.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, you don't get to just put out The Dark Knight and then also Battle Los Angeles and get away with not seeing that piece of crap.
Oh, I forgot that.
And also not seeing this.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's fair enough. And he's got a horrible face in the film. Two-Face. That's a really cool
got
scene.
two of them,
It's
though.
that's true. Bonus. One for Dave. One for him. One for Dave.
What he loses in quality, he makes up in quantity. You poor man, Thomas Jane.
But I think for me, like Dark Knight and a lot of Nolan's films, but Dark Knight particularly has got such good like tension. Like it can kind of build tension from not a lot, or what you don't appear like a lot, and then it can blow up literally into something else. And it, like Will said, it the way it kind of travels through the film, you don't ever feel like you're kind of just on pause. It always feels like it's going up, even though it's kind of not. Like there are times where it goes down, and there's a bit of I don't know.
It's one of those films that...
It's got a great pace.
It doesn't matter where you come in. You'll end up... Well, for me, I'll end up watching the whole thing.
Yeah.
I'm not moving. It's on until the end, and that's it.
I'll just think this up because I know Dave loves it. Yeah. Terminator 2 is like that. Terminator 2 is like... for me, Predator's pretty much like it too. Terminator 2 is even better, I reckon. And it's just because at any point, you can just keep watching it.
Yeah.
There's two movies that I appreciate in that way. One is Terminator 2, and the other is Major Pain.
That's a beauty. That's an absolute beauty. I agree.
Doesn't matter where you're at.
I agree.
I'm on board.
Yeah.
I'm with you until the end. Is Nolan? Is Bale your Batman?
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah, he's brilliant.
So this is where Will and I divide. I'm a Michael Keaton fan.
Nice.
And Batman Returns are my two favourites, with Returns being my favourite, I think.
The nose bite scared me too much.
Yeah. That was full on for that film. It's like, why is that? I like that it's in there.
For a movie to sell McDonald's toys.
Even that shot, like the perspective shot of baby penguin, when he's kind of, his hands or whatever they are kind of come up, or, you know, they're looking at him as a baby and it's like vicious and throw him in the river. It's like that's...
And the fish.
Yeah.
And then the bones coming away like a Tom and Jerry cartoon.
Yeah.
The penguins are great in it as well. I'm not sure if they were little kids in suits or...
That's true.
We'll have to look into the union and see what they're allowed to do.
Yeah. The emperors.
They're avoiding a Twilight Zone movie fiasco, so they didn't get any kids. It's real penguins.
Look, see it go. This is where I think it goes. It goes. You know, it's a bit sour because obviously Dark Knight is like very set in more a real...
It's got a logic to it.
Yeah, exactly. It's got a logic to it that's
it's
not
Heat
real.
with Batman.
Yeah, exactly.
And I love Heat.
Yeah. But
that's why you're rubbing your nipples with deep heat the whole time we've been recording.
Yeah. Tiger Balm will do.
Smells like the weirdest footy change room ever right now.
But it gets like a bit cuckoo in Returns, and I like the kind of fun playfulness of it. Yeah. You know, especially I think I mentioned before, like the Sugar Skull kind of bike riders and all.
Don the Dragon Wilson, the martial artist, is one of the Glow in the Dark gang members.
Oh, sick!
And also, I didn't know why, but I was just like, I really like Catwoman.
Oh yeah,
I'm not sure why.
I think that. Well, I think I know why. I think.
But
I
at
like
that
her.
age, I didn't know why.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
I just...
Why did she become Catwoman
because she
in the
fell
film?
out of a window and cats licked her head.
So that was actually it.
It was the
toilet or something during that part. Just left the room.
Didn't you see the bit in Dark Knight where Heath Ledger falls out of a window and then like Joaquin Phoenix licks his head?
Oh yeah. I think I'm reevaluating this list.
Well, speaking of the list, we got to move on, and here is the next film. It is 100.5 Wowfm, Dave's Video Graveyard. We are with the OK Champ boys. Make sure you check out their work on the YouTube, RedTube, and all the other tubes. Just look up OK Champ. We are talking about the favourite movies of all time, and Andy has picked somewhat of a classic, not just a classic, but a classic sequel. It is the Terminator 2 of the franchise. We are going back to the year 1994, a year where the world was enjoying the likes of Dumb and Dumber and The Mask. You know, comedy was on the rise. However, much like when everyone got super upset finding out that Harry from Harry and the Hendersons was played by the same guy that was the Predator, we are talking about Willow, but as a monster. The Leprechaun 2 from 1994. Why did you pick this masterpiece?
Wow. That is one hell of an introduction. And you're right, Willow. That I could have picked any of those films. It'd probably be.
All right, next movie. This is DVD.
Oh God.
No, sorry.
No. Look, I can back this one up. I am a massive fan of Leprechaun 2. I think it really comes from Warwick Davies' performance, and also my love of just B-grade horror and practical effects. I've got a tradition every year at Christmas that I watch Leprechaun 2 by myself or with anybody I can rope in.
I'm just picturing a whole heap of mannequins but with like crudely drawn faces on like lunch bags put over their faces.
Yeah.
You're having a good Christmas, guys?
Some smiling, some frowning, just so it's like real life.
As you look through the window at your neighbours happily like watching Home Alone with their whole family and going, no steam today.
They're having their 1994 kind of best of movie celebration. I'm watching Leprechaun 2. Yeah, I don't know. There's just something awesome about how lame it is. I think it's put together in a really fun way.
Is this the pot of gold in the belly one?
It is. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Great reference. So there's just some awesome characters. It centers around like a main character. God, I can't even remember his name. How bad is that? But
Cody?
Cody, thank you. Centers around Cody, basically just trying to win his girlfriend back for a lot of the film. But a leprechaun comes back and is born kind of from a tree, and then attacks a homeless man and tips whiskey into his mouth after he rips his teeth out. And then the homeless man goes to the hospital and says, I saw a leprechaun. And they're like, yeah, sure you did. You saw a leprechaun. And it's like, oh, that's classic, isn't it? Because the leprechaun's going to get someone else. And it just keeps going and going and going. The deaths are a lot of fun in it. There's a scene where, I'm spoiling this, but it won't matter.
I think the world will forgive you.
Yeah, I think it's been out for a little bit. But go see Tenet, whatever you do. No, there's a scene in there where he gets another boy that's going after Cody's girlfriend gets tricked and gets confused with a lawnmower that's on and thinks it's a kind of luscious lady
Some
presenting.
boobies.
Yeah, and he puts his head in it. And the shot is a silhouette, which is just great because you can get some real good violence out of a silhouette.
The other thing you've got to appreciate about this movie, it features Clint Howard, and that is, if that's not a barometer for quality, I don't know what is.
Yeah, especially as
the Randy Quaid of the Howard family.
Yeah, he is exceptional in it as well, and he's not. Cody's driving like he's running. He doesn't even want to, but he's running this kind of like tour of Hollywood haunted houses, like around New York or wherever this is set. And Clint Howard's like, "Oh, come on, that'll be fun," or whatever. And he goes along as like just some like little slapstick character in the back. But yeah, it looks like an absolute freak the whole time, so it's great. Now, Will's also a massive fan of Leprechaun. I can see that he's just trying to pipe in here.
The whole series. There's a particular moment that we like, isn't there, from Leprechaun 4?
Yeah, from 4, which there's not a lot of moments. I will admit it's one of the weaker.
Which one's Jennifer Aniston in?
First one.
Yeah.
Yeah, number 1.
First one's kind of like the only one that fits a genre and is actually a bit good. It's a little bit like Chucky. How Chucky's like kind of a good movie, and then 2 and 3 are like a little bit crazy.
How good would it be to get Warwick Davis and a few of his mates to start a new metal band and call it Leprechaun?
Oh, that'd be great.
That would be amazing.
As long as they're only covering.
Yeah.
Free. I'm trying to think, like, freak on a pogo stick or something. Because there's a kill in Leprechaun 1 where he's, for that little trick, I'll chop off your dick and so forth. There's rhymes. It's great. It's a great time for everybody. The performances, there's a character called Morty that just gets drunk through the whole thing. He's the one with the pot of gold in his belly. Very selfish. Sorry, just to bring it back, Leprechaun 4. What's the title of that one, Will?
It's in space.
Leprechaun 4 in space?
Yeah.
So you're in for a treat.
At what point does the franchise go to the hood?
That's after
5?
space.
After that, yeah. Technically 5, 6. Because that's back to the hood.
Back to the hood.
But we don't talk fondly of the hood Leprechaun movies.
No way.
But
it's number 4.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So tell us, what's the scene in question?
Well, we've all seen the Alien franchise, and they get impregnated by the alien that comes out of the stomach.
Yeah.
Well, there's a chap in space, and he gets impregnated, through his urine stream.
Oh, okay.
And then later on, it's a bit like Aliens, and it bursts out of his
From the
dick.
same spot. Wow.
Yes, it's
Wow.
fantastic. And
What a film.
One year, my brother and I, for New Year's Eve, we had a leprechaun marathon, and we managed to time the whole thing so it just kept going. So when the new year came, it was that moment when Warwick Davies burst out of the man's dick. So absolutely brilliant.
That's the best scene, though.
Yeah.
Obviously. It's the new year.
It was a bad year.
I feel like, because I'm such an edgelord, I need to rebuild a Angel Fire or GeoCities website and have that animated GIF just looping with all my diatribes about how good a film Joker is and stuff. It all just feeds into itself.
Oh, I'd look at it.
How often do you guys revisit this film?
Leprechaun as a whole, we watch pretty frequently, really. Like one of them. But Leprechaun 4, I think deep down we both really don't like Leprechaun 4 that much, but there are a few scenes that are really good. But I might be speaking for myself. I will, and I'm going to throw Will under the bus. Will typically puts up with worse films, I feel, than me.
Right.
And I like shocking films.
But
but Will likes seeing really trash stuff.
we are
absolutely.
celebrating your favourite films of all time, but what is the worst movie you guys have ever seen? Because something's got to stick out.
That's really hard.
For me, as much as I make so many excuses for him, Adam Sandler's The Ridiculous Six is perhaps the worst film I've ever seen.
I didn't see it, which is great.
But why is that? Because it's boring as well.
It's in on its own joke of how bad it is, in a Sharknado way.
Oh yeah.
But then at the same time tries to be like subvert comedy. It's
There's
like
no room for Dave.
You don't get both. Yeah, there's no room for Dave.
It's like, where am I here?
It's weird because there are some films I've seen that are just horrendous. Like they're total garbage, but they've got something, to them that's a bit weird that, at least you'll watch it. There's a film called Things.
I was about to say, that's the film I'm going to say.
Things is tremendously bad, but it's so bizarre, and you sort of get a bit of an idea of the people who are making it, that it's just intriguing, and you watch it. But yeah, that being said, I've watched loads of things, We have a shark night every year, and we watch each Sharknado.
Sorry. I thought you said shart night.
You might as well.
Same, but no, move on.
But yeah, there's all sorts of shart related shite in that genre.
I hope the top of the pile, the pinnacle, features Thomas Jane and Samuel L. Jackson and LL Cool J.
Oh yes. Well, that's if we've been good.
Yeah, that's right.
If not, it's lake sharks or land sharks.
Or ghost sharks.
Ghost sharks. That was tremendous.
What's the one where the Wally Lewis's son is in a deli? It's in a flooded deli, and there's a shark in there with them.
Wait, is it a more recent film?
Yeah.
That's the Australian one
Where
the
with
tsunami
literally
comes in.
with Wally Lewis's son.
I didn't see it, but I know the one, yeah. Was it good or was it horrible?
It's so self-serious, but it's got that color grading, like, as soon as Eli Roth come along and everything was color graded green.
Yeah.
It's got that look to it as well.
Yeah.
It's no Rogue, but it's fine.
It's not actually good, but you won't hate yourself.
Someone spent time, photoshopping the DVD
Things,
cover.
yeah, somebody bothered to put names on it. Things is horrible. I think Things would be on YouTube or somewhere online. Things is like watching your mates' kind of home videos, but like they're looking at you the whole time.
Yeah.
And you kind of feel like you're meant to get it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you just don't. And like Will said, you kind of just get a taste of these weird people.
Yeah, you wonder if they're okay.
Yeah. It reminds me, it's a little bit, it's not a lot, but it's the weirdness that, like, I don't know if you've seen Manos Hands of Fate.
Oh, no.
Manos the Hands of Fate. Is that Italian?
No.
Okay.
It's just so bad it seems Italian.
All right.
I don't like movies that make me question what I'm watching and why I'm watching. Like Harmony Korrim's Gummo.
I haven't seen that.
It's
No.
just, what is this? Like, it's this little fetal alcohol kid going around to town killing cats, and like eating cereal in the bath and drops the cereal and keeps eating it. Like,
Yeah.
that's the synopsis.
I think there's. I mean, everyone's different, aren't we?
Yeah.
But I think
No.
I think there is. Yeah. I mean, we're all the same. Clearly,
Yeah.
we're putting up with each other. I think. I don't know. There's something about just watching something for the visceral, like in a negative way, is what I'm trying to get to. There's something about like just trying to, knowing that somebody's trying to just evoke a feeling out of you, just for the sake of getting the feeling,
yeah.
and not a purpose in any way, like in any way.
But
like,
I think on the other end of the scale, that's also become the cliche that's not ruining, but it's making horror this cliche. You think The Babadook, Hereditary, Midsummer, all these movies that are just like, guess what? All the supernatural's an allegory for grieving. It's like, no, just make it supernatural.
Yeah.
I don't want all this crap.
Yeah.
Stop putting layers in and just make it derpy thing.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, totally. I can see that too, for sure. I don't know. We've seen some, like you have. We've seen some crap, and like a lot of the time, it's hard to even reference later what you liked or didn't like about it.
Well, we've got some favourites.
Well, we do. Go on.
Well, Piranha 2.
Piranha 2.
That's brilliant. James
Piranha
Cameron's
3D
first.
with Gianna Michaels. Google that at home if you're listening. Huge fan.
Literally.
Well, if you like that, you'll love Piranha 2.
Piranha 2.
You're a bit of a James Cameron fan?
Somewhat.
You'll love Piranha 2.
He's known as Uncle James here on DVG.
Uncle
Is he?
James.
Well,
Because he was my mate James,
Yeah.
but then he became that uncle that you got to tolerate. Because he told me specifically straight to my face that Terminator Genesis was great.
Did he?
It's like, I forget that you're an executive producer that gets a huge cut of money by telling me that, and I will believe that.
Oh, yeah, that's a fair point.
Now he's making Smurf and Gully 8, 9, and 10.
yeah.
No one wants that.
It's been just bobbing
Yay.
down, inventing cameras and stuff. It's like, hurry up, mate. The world's ending.
No, it'll be interesting.
Hey,
It'll be
God,
interesting.
I just see him coming out of like a bunker that he doesn't know what's happened in 2020. He's like, hey guys, I built a new submarine.
It's just John Goodman from Cloverfield Lane.
I built a new camera submarine, guys. You keen?
Yeah.
No.
It's like, it's just, it's,
Unobtainium, guys.
yeah, exactly.
No, and thank you.
It's just Skynet have just obliterated everyone.
Nice.
There's just somebody on the fence.
Once upon a time, we were talking about Leprechaun.
Yeah.
that's true.
No, it's a great film.
Leprechaun 2.
There's not too much to it beyond the trailer, but you will love it. Invest into it. There's lots of ridiculous deaths. If you like your old school kind of horror B-grade comedy crap, you will love it.
Love Ali. Let's get into the next movie because we are running out of time because we're getting straight to the point here.
Oh,
this
yes.
is DVG. It is DVG time to talk about Monty Python and the Holy Grail, the film that changed the view of comedy of pretty much the entire world. Why did you pick this film, Will?
Mr. Funny Man. Take it away, Mr. Funny Man.
I get Monty Python. Everyone look at my
Is that why you got a funny
sensibility.
you got a funny voice? Because I listen to Monty Python.
Ooh, I've got a ministry of my own walks. Why am I bullying you guys?
So
Yeah.
easy when I do.
Fair enough. No, I just love it.
Cool.
Next movie. Yeah. That's just brilliant. It's accessible. I think to a lot of younger people as well, and it's one of those films a lot like, the Star Wars or whatever that it can push you in different areas of study. So maybe you really like comedy after that, and you that's all you want to do. Or maybe you get interested in sort of medieval type history after you've seen the show. So I think it's somewhat educational, even though you might not get the facts from the film, but it'll push you in a direction.
We're talking about 1975, featuring meta humor, and that's something that Terry Gilliam and the Monty Python guys push the envelope so much that all these years later, we're giving it the respect it's due. But at the time, they famously made a 3-minute trailer for Monty Python and the Holy Grail. I don't know if you know this story. and they got it completely dubbed over in Chinese.
Yeah.
So all the selling points
Yeah.
is just done in Chinese, interspersed with dialogue from the movie out of context.
Oh, wow.
And it just
Superb.
made it the most. And they're much like I've got a lot of love for the band Tism on this show because they spent so much of their time wasting other people's time just to make themselves laugh. Like famously, Tism had a record contract where they had to release 3 albums, and they did the first 2, and the record company's like, you have to release the third. So they released it with a very fragile pressing on vinyl in a completely sealed plastic box that you couldn't open the box without breaking the record. That ticked the box of what they were doing. Much like the approach that the Monty Python crew have with comedy, where they're the masters of like pushing a joke till it's not funny anymore, and then it coming back around.
And then it doesn't have a punchline
it doesn't
as
have
well
a punchline.
sometimes.
I can definitely see where you guys get your inspiration from Monty Python for sure.
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
It's
That's a compliment. Thank you, Dave.
Oh, thank you.
I take it back then.
Oh,
Yeah.
No, fair enough. We do suck a bit.
Why is he coming at me with a knife?
It's a childhood favourite, and one of the best fight scenes ever put on celluloid.
Can I just jump in? I love that scene, and I think I even said this to you recently because it was on my mind. But that scene where he's got the bow and arrow at the window.
Oh, it's brilliant.
And he's kind of on the sly, just trying to call for help. There's something about the physical comedy that's so good in all of their stuff.
Yeah.
But that film for me as well, like growing up, like I was raised on that, and a lot of Life and
Coconuts as
Brian.
horses.
Yeah.
Oh,
The
brilliant.
song, the minstrel singing the Brave Sir Robin song. There's just so many, and of course, perhaps the most quoted, most iconic scene is the Red Knight,
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
and
Yeah.
also the Knights of Ni.
Yeah.
And
Well, because we're heaps like Monty Python. We've got our own joke that's a bit like that, Dave. Would you like to hear?
sure.
We've got a gag. We're shaking his head. We've got we've got a recent gag where Will came up with it, and like everything, and he goes, what if we do this sketch where it's like, what if swear words were physically harmful? And I was just like, just that tagline is already like, yeah, we'll do that. Like, that's funny. That's a funny joke. So we've got a sketch that's and then some people get hurt, and it reminds me of that type of gag. Not done anywhere near as well, but the idea's there.
Spoiler alert: the C word blows up the planet. Is no one going to watch it now?
Yeah,
Yeah, no, fair enough.
that's true.
But it's only a very short amount of your time, so we're only going to waste 30 seconds of it. But the other thing about Monty Python, the Holy Grail, is the ending. I think it's the way they sum it up. They basically just make the whole film a big joke.
Well, I would give this movie so much more credit if the year prior to it, Mel Brooks hadn't released Blazing Saddles. With the ending being the all-in brawl on the stage set to poke fun at the fact that cowboy movies are shot in sound stages.
Yeah.
And they all get arrested at the end from brawling.
That's fair
Very
enough.
similar to
I
the
love
Monty
that.
Python.
That's
but I
another-
think it's more effective with this because there's just something from like the mid-70s to the late 80s in the UK. Everything they seem to film looked the same. So like an episode of Minder would look exactly like an episode of Young Ones would look exactly like the Monty Python movies. There was just something
It's
about
got
that.
piss-coloured white. Yeah, it's good.
Do you like all of the Monty Python stuff?
Absolutely.
Like all the movies?
I mean, I say the Holy Grail, but I include in that, Life of Brian, The Meaning of Life, and the entire flying circus.
He's a rule breaker.
Oh, I just love it.
The man is a rule breaker.
Absolutely
Lovely.
superb. Yeah, I love the show. It is hit and miss.
Definitely.
But there are just brilliant moments. It's unbelievable.
It's so it's just adventurous and fun, and they take risks. It's really good.
And they didn't really
Ridiculous.
know each other before they did it.
No.
They just sort of
That's mental.
came together and they made this amazing
Well,
show.
will there ever be a group like it? Probably not.
Not in Adelaide.
Yeah, that's it.
Wouldn't be allowed.
Probably those Auntie Donna guys. Are pretty
Yeah,
funny.
definitely.
Yeah.
They're getting close.
They're
This
actually-
is DVG. A young man's mother is bitten by a Sumatran rat monkey. She gets sick and dies, at which time she comes back to life, killing and eating dogs, nurses, friends, and neighbours. We are talking about 1992's Brain Dead, aka Dead Alive, from director Peter Jackson, who didn't really do much after this, unfortunately.
Frighteners.
He did The Frighteners, of course, and he
Lovely Bones.
He made Kong.
He did Kong. Yeah, that was
I
one
think
of
that
the
was
last
about it.
ones. Yeah.
Oh, no, that's right. He made 3 movies out of half of a book. That's right. We are talking about this film because Andy has put it on his list. Why did you pick this film?
Oh, shit. There's a lot of pressure here. Dead Alive, or Brain Dead, was probably one of the first films I was introduced to, just like Aussie, New Zealand, Kiwi, just slapstick, absurd horror comedy kind of mixed together. That was probably one of the first films, and it's still the best. The amount of like ridiculous, just stupid slapstick gags that are through the film, it just made me laugh so hard. Like the performances and the actors in it. There's every character in it you would never want to come across them, ever. Even the leads, I think. Like everything about it is just so ridiculous. It's so stupid. It's set like I can't even tell when it's set. It's like
my memory was blown. Finding out it was from 1992.
Yeah.
It looks like it's from 1984.
Yeah.
It's just
even early. It's got like the kind of like San Francisco trams kicking around, and like the cars are all 50s.
And I think much like, when you see like, for lack of a better term, when you see a drongo in like an Aussie film from like the 70s, and you're like, there's no way this makes sense in other countries. There's no way they're watching, these movies and going, oh, I get what they're going for.
Yeah.
That is such a similar thing to what's happened with the New Zealand humor in this, where it's like, it's dry and it's not, and half the time you're like, are they trying to be funny or are they not trying to be funny?
Yeah.
It is such a bizarre tone, but that is something that you will find and love with the early splatter horror films of Peter Jackson.
Yeah, that's right.
And you mentioned The Frighteners. That is an amazing horror film that is completely underrated and was completely mismarketed, which was a big part of everyone not loving it.
Yeah, that was another film, actually, going back to the video store. I remember getting that, or my sister maybe even getting that, but yeah. And that was one of those, on The Frighteners, that was one of those films that was like, oh, this is a scary movie. This is like, there's people in the walls. Or,
I remember it looking like fun. Like, I remember the trailer for it being very adventurous and very, almost like you'd expect it to be like, this is Casper grown up. Like, this is Casper for like kids that are 4 years older than people that love Casper. Now, because we're running out of time, I wanted to touch on your next choice, Andy. It is the Zack Snyder zombie film prequel from 1978. You're talking about the Zack Snyder prequel, Dawn of the Dead.
How dare you mention his name? That was still a sick movie, don't get me wrong.
I love both of them.
Yeah, I love that film. I taking it back, like I remember sitting there watching Dawn of the Dead in 2004 or 2, whatever the newer one was, and I was like, man, I just wish that movie wasn't called Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah,
and that's just me being 16 and being like, ah. But yeah, the original Dawn of the Dead, I absolutely love that. That's definitely my favorite film. I think there's like everything about Romero is so hit or miss with a lot of films, I feel. Yep. And Night of the Living Dead, which was the kind of movie
he made that
before
movie
this.
where people joust on motorbikes and Ed Harris is in it.
Did he?
Oh, yeah.
I haven't seen that.
His Crazies is amazing, though.
I've seen that. That's cool, yeah.
Yep.
But yeah.
So is zombie your favourite sub-genre of horror?
Yeah.
Because I've known you for a very long time, and that we bonded over our love for zombies back in the day.
Yeah.
Particularly around the release of 28 Days Later.
Oh,
because that was a game changer.
That was huge.
Let alone a mainstream hit.
Yeah.
Which, 2004's Dawn of the Dead was out there, but it was marketed on name alone.
Yeah.
Whereas, and the thing about this, you go back and it wears its heart on its sleeve. All its imperfections are still there, but it's still super effective. Whereas if you watch another movie that's aged the way the Dawn of the Dead has, particularly from 78, and it doesn't hold up because you take away too many points from how bad it looks.
Yeah, that's right.
But this is just... It wears its heart on its sleeve, and in a complete different way. Day of the Dead, the tone that sets is so bleak that movie made me feel so unsettled after I saw it for so long, because it's just it's so just like it's
quite hopeless.
Yeah.
That film. Yeah, and I mean it's all Day of the Dead's all underground, isn't it? In silos,
Yeah.
and it looks like, and the people. Yeah, that's really the full breakdown of society. But Dawn is just, it's got so much scope on. This is the nerdy bit, but like on consumerism, which is where it's set in the mall. You know, so
which is that was George A. Romero's go-to. Was his satire of, and unfortunately that also became his weakness in filmmaking, because when he made Land of the Dead, it was like, he's up to it. We get it. We get it.
Or give him less money at least, so he can't do that with it. You know, it's like
I'm surprised Dennis Hopper's name in it wasn't like, oh, this is Borge Gush.
Yeah, I know, exactly. Yeah,
we get it.
It's like,
Except
man, you're old. You know, like
the
come on.
asterisk I'll put next to talking bad about that movie is it does feature John Leguizamo, so
Yeah.
that goes against anything bad I have to say about it,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
Johnny Legs is the man.
Yeah. But yeah, so yeah, Dawn of the Dead was just epic. Like makeup wise, that was the first one that Tom Savini, I think, really worked on for his anyway, and from there, he went on to be essentially the man in visual effects.
And even it's so amazing with Savini, because when you find out the amount of things that he taught the likes of Greg Nicotero, even Robert Kirkman that went on to do From Dusk Till Dawn and The Walking Dead and stuff, he was the catalyst of so much of... I believe he even did a little bit of work with Rick Baker back in the day as well. So anyone you list as an amazing practical effects artist
is connected.
Ties back to Savini.
Exactly.
And he was on show. He did it for pretty much nothing, Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah.
And he also decided that he wanted to act in it as well.
Well, this isn't Savini? Is Savini the dude with the From
His
Dusk
Sex
Till Dawn?
Machine
Yeah,
in From
Sex
Dusk Till
Machine.
Dawn.
So people probably know him from that.
Or the sheriff in Planet Terror.
Yeah, of course he's in that. There's so I don't know. It's just such a unique film, but it's also paced like kind of quite slow, and because I've seen the film a lot, and I think when I got into it, I rented it on VHS and everything. It was just, I rented that in a day and hadn't seen either, which was just epic. Like,
I remember because they were one of those films that were banned in Australia till like the late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah.
And that's
Brain
the
Dead
first time
was banned as well.
That's the first time I saw them, was when that re-release happened.
It must have been me then.
Because it was, I'm not sure what year it was, but it was like they suddenly lifted the veil and we got a re-release of like Clockwork Orange, a re-release of Day and Dawn. All these movies that some still to this day are technically banned in Queensland because of the weird way the classification works.
That's funny.
Now, moving on to the next choice, it is one from Will. It is from perhaps one of the strongest years of film in the history of the world. We are talking about 1989, and it is time to talk about the third and final ever released Indiana Jones film. There was no movies after this.
No.
You have chosen Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Why did you pick this absolute classic?
I mean... Yeah, I like the whole series of Indiana Jones, all three. But the thing about this one is the relationship with the father. That's what I like the most. And Sean Connery's in it. That guy who he's associated with Roger Moore somehow.
Yeah. Start of this conversation.
Yes, that's it.
You can go back there to learn about him.
And it's just outstanding. It's also got that other element that it's set in history. So you maybe you'll go off and start to pay attention to more historic studies.
You need to stop trying to slip learning into my derp films.
Yeah, no. It's true.
And it's got a melting head.
He's doing it with our sketch show.
Let's turn this into a learning moment.
Kitty winks.
And the knight's really old and he can't see the bridge and he thinks he was in the tank that went over the cliff.
That night,
you know what you can
was
learn
from the
from
Crusades.
Yeah.
And that was a very brutal period of history.
Well, luckily, if anyone's listening and following along and watching them chronologically, they already know all about the Crusades because of Monty Python.
That's true.
Exactly.
That's true.
Exactly.
No, Indiana Jones is absolutely epic. That's just so fun.
This to me, and I know it's sacrilege because everyone has their own choice. This is Pete Connery for me.
Yeah, fair enough.
Other than The Rock.
The Rock, yeah, he's pretty damn good in that. He's amazing.
He's essentially Michael Bay, with his unique subtlety. hints that it is an aged James Bond in
Yeah,
that film.
yeah.
That's
Have
a
you
good
seen him-
hint. That's
have
a
you-
strong hint.
Have you seen him in The Man Who Would Be King?
No.
That's pretty
But I
good
have
too.
seen him in First Night with
Ooh.
Richard Gere. The Knights of Camelot.
Yes.
You could learn from that movie.
You could. You
You'd like
could.
that, Will? You'd learn.
Yes.
You're dumb. You like learning.
You like
I need
reading
more
and stuff.
brain. Yeah, no, I just love it, and I love the World War tank that's in it that goes off of the cliff.
Yeah. So
So,
it's good.
super.
set.
And also, it is much like we quite often talk about here on the show. It is a testament to live action stunts.
Yeah,
exactly.
Because that tank scene blew my mind as a child.
I think it was. I think what they did is they built the top half of the tank and they put it on a trailer, and they pulled it along so they could get the horse going, and so they
right.
could jump from horse to trailer, and yeah,
And they saved heaps of money on petrol because they always had half a tank.
exactly.
Yay.
Thanks, guys. We can earned it there.
Gee whiz.
Bloody pathetic. God, we signed up for this.
Yeah, it flips, and now you guys are like, never again. Never again.
That's all we've got tonight on DVJ.
And also, it features a young... It features perhaps the best young portrayal of an actor I've ever seen.
Yes,
River
absolutely.
Phoenix as young Harrison Ford is insanely accurate.
Yeah.
Like, it's just uncanny.
Yeah, it's
even
awesome.
to... I do
Yeah.
like, much like they did in the film Solo, which we can talk about it another time, where Solo was like, this is why he wears a vest.
Yeah.
This is why he's got... I'm surprised Solo didn't have a scene where they're like, we need to get through that door, but you have to have dotted stripes down the side of your pants to get through it.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
he draws them on with a
Yeah,
Posca. and it's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
That's why he's got that.
It's deep.
This also does that because in
Yeah.
one day, in one adventure on a train, he gets his fear of snakes, he gets his scar that Harrison Ford had on his chin.
Yeah, yeah.
One of the greatest golden mushroom cuts in the history of the world in that scene. And also he finds that guy that he fully crushes on and steals his look.
Yeah.
Much like you guys are going to leave tonight and dress like dickwits, much like myself.
Oh,
moving
definitely.
forward.
We are going to steal everything from anybody we come across.
Including this mic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you contemplate naming your sketch comedy like Uncle Ronna or something? 'Cause you were
Yeah, that's a good point. We probably should have.
Yeah.
If anybody's got suggestions, please join the Patreon and then tell us.
So it's not too
I
late.
see what you did there. Nicely done. So that is essentially the second last choice we're going to get to this evening. So it's time we talk about a movie that is the third most talked about film on this show. The first being Goodfellas. The second, close. The second being Temple of Doom. And the third being The Empire Strikes Back. Why did you guys choose this film?
We both picked this, didn't we?
Yeah.
That's why Dave's saying it.
Your period synced up and
yeah, I
you
know.
totally picked it.
I think for both of us, it's such memories of being kids and growing up with Star Wars. Will's going to say that he likes the original trilogy and that's his selection. I'll try to keep it on Empire. I don't know. This Empire feels like you're kind of jumping in the middle of a story that's quite confident, which is surprising, I think, because the first film is kind of so isolated. I still think that like A New Hope's like the only film like you can just watch that by itself and it just ties off. But Empire is also like if you watch that by itself, it is an awesome movie. But there's something about it where it just feels like you've kind of opened the middle of a chapter book and it's like
also
there's a lot of stuff going on and you're kind of not sure it's all happening at once.
To end on a downbeat is amazing. It was unheard of at the time when it come to a trilogy.
Oh,
As in
yeah.
to end in such a negative
That's right.
story where
Yeah.
all the bad guys don't win.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's probably what also pushed it a lot though. As in like people were like, what? You know, like Homer.
Yeah.
Spoiling it for everyone. Yeah. There's I don't know. It's almost like there's a darkness there that's not in the other ones.
Yeah.
Apart from probably the final fight
And
between
I-
Luke and Vader.
I quite often hark on about it, but I think the original Star Wars trilogy, effectively does more universe building than any other films have ever managed to do. Even bigger, longer franchises.
Yeah.
Just the different environments, the different laws, the different characters.
Yeah.
And we're seeing a lot of that with Mandalorian. They're bringing back so many of the original trilogy background characters.
Little gadgets as well.
I know it's fan service just to sell us our own childhood back to it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's so effective.
Yeah, I don't care if it's got Hasbro written on it. Like,
And this is one film where I quite often see deleted scenes and I think, oh, they shouldn't have left that in.
Yeah.
But the deleted scene where C-3PO pulls the warning sign off of the Wampa room.
yeah.
And then the snowtroopers come in and open the door.
Oh,
and
I've seen
Wampa
that.
just drags him in.
That's
I'm like,
amazing.
oh, that would have been totally amazing.
That had no
Just
sound
great.
either, didn't
No,
it?
no.
Yeah. That's right. God, that's great.
Mentioning the Wampa, like, I mean, the thing I like about all the Star Wars and the original trilogy is just how many...
Can you just say Star Wars without the in it? It's upsetting me every
The
time.
Star Wars. Anyway, yeah, the thing about...
the Star.
Is that's what the kids call it these days, isn't it?
I believe
the
it's-
Star Wars?
It's a Star Wars.
A Star Wars. The thing about a Star Wars... anyway, no.
Stars War.
Oh, God.
But it's the amount of influence that it pulls in from other cinema as well that's just amazing about it.
There's also, Will, history.
And
Well,
history.
Do you know
well,
what happened a long
yes.
time ago? Not in a galaxy far away
Yeah.
so much, but do you know what did happen a long time ago?
Mm.
History.
history.
true.
It is basically, if you look at all the firearms, they're basically around the World War II era, so it can get you into the World War II.
So there was
era.
lasers in World War II, is what you're saying?
Yes, there were.
They were destroyed towards the end of the war.
Right.
Yes.
They didn't just
They
lose
called it
massive,
scorched earth, Dave.
They
Haven't
didn't
you
just
heard of
lose
it?
massive amount of life. It was also the weaponry.
How do you think they did it?
They also hid the Falcon, in the Balkans. Yeah, it was like,
It turned into a real falcon. That's what
Wait.
falcons are from. The bird, the falcon, comes from that spaceship. History.
Exactly.
to ride on the coattails really quickly of
Don't cut him off.
of the
Stop
main.
talking.
Oh,
Keep
thank
talking,
you.
Will.
Thank you, Dave.
This is your show.
I want to talk about a Star Wars.
to me every day. Anyway,
It's not Andy's video graveyard, is that?
It sure isn't. It sure
Is this
isn't.
thing on?
Yeah. No, you just sort of, even in really obscure cinema, you just find bits from it, like the Wampa scene where Luke Skywalker's upside down. That's very specific. Like his feet are up, his arms are sort of hanging, and he's trying to get the lightsaber. I was watching some spaghetti western, like just out of nowhere. I think it was called $10,000 for a massacre.
Oh yeah.
And he's been tied up in that way, and there's a knife there, and he's trying to get it, and he sort of
a
persuades
bit of
someone.
Tarantino going on, you reckon, with Lawrence Kasdan. With,
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely, and it's very similar. He gets up and he cuts it and falls down and everything,
Yeah.
and gets the bad guy.
There's
Crazy.
definite. I mean, through all film and anything like that, there's so many borrowed scenes, like almost like plot for plot action moments.
Yeah,
Especially Tarantino. Like I've got a massive love-hate for Tarantino because I think he's for me. It's like what memes are now. It's like I like memes, but like I'd rather them not exist, to be honest.
Oh,
scathing
scathing.
Oh,
review
it's
of
just
them.
like it's just like, hey, it's funny to be fun. Like it's that step back,
it's
back.
real bandwagon comedy.
Yeah, which is great, but isn't the other people doing the main thing?
I want you guys to act as if there's 30 seconds left of the show right now. Where would people be able to check out your work?
Please go on YouTube. Okay, champ. Please go on YouTube.
Okay, champ.
Please go on YouTube. Okay, champ. Please go on YouTube. Okay, champ. Please go on YouTube. Okay, champ. Please go on YouTube. Okay, champ.
This is DVG. Guys, thank you so much for ruining the show. This is 100.5 Wow FM.